All right, guys, I haven't spoken about Nishane in a long time, and today I've got a themed video for you. Nishane fragrances for the guys. I've got a top 10 list ranked from number 10 to number 1, and we've got 2 bonus options as well after the outro. So we're going to go ahead and get started, but before I do that, I do want to explain. I've received some messages from some of you asking me why I haven't done videos on fragrances strictly for the guys, and just a little explanation. I was on the road for about 2.5 months, a month and plus in Europe, 3 weeks almost in China, and a week almost in New York City. So I've been gone a while, and for me to do videos specifically on specific sexes takes longer than unisex videos on unisex fragrances, because I generally talk about unisex offerings. But of course, I'm a man and I love men's fragrances. I grew up with them. My dad got me to enjoy the fragrances he was wearing. So I will always do videos on these themes as well. So I'm around for a while. I'm not going to be traveling much anytime soon. So I've got a lot of men's themed videos. So I thought I'd start this one with Nishane fragrances. I've done a few videos like this before. You can look up Tom Ford, and I believe there's also a Frederick Malle. But today it's all about Nishane, and I have a few more lined up. And who knows, I might come back and do similar videos for the ladies as well. But just an FYI, I always mention this. Fragrances are unisex. If you like the way it smells, wear them. But some of you guys like more masculine offerings, some more feminine offerings, and this is the one if you are into more masculine fragrances. So this is a top 10 list, as I said. It's Nishane, one of the most popular niche fragrance houses, a Turkish house, actually. And they've got some great fragrances that I think you guys should know about. If you're looking for some new fragrances and you're new to the niche world, definitely check this video out. So we're starting off with the first fragrance. It's Nishane's B612 at number 10. I've put this at the bottom. I really like the way it smells, but I think it's created a very soft, gentle way, and I kind of like this house for big, bold, loud fragrances. And this one kind of comes off on me very soft and kind of subdued. So I kind of wanted a little bit more loudness, but I don't get it. But if you don't like really bold, loud fragrances and you're looking for something, aromatic fougere-like, a barbershop-y kind of style fragrance, B612 should be something that you should, quite enjoy. I think it's created by Chris Maurice from what I remember. I think the lavender in this, from what I'm smelling, is pretty prominent. There's also earthy notes, woods, patchouli, and things like that here as well. So I feel like it's got this classic masculine touch, but on the modern side, it's, paying tribute to barbershop style fragrances, and the lavender is very prominent. It's very aromatic and spicy. And of course, you've got earthy notes in the dry down and woods and things like that. So I think that's the reason why I ranked this kind of at the bottom. Because of that, because I like this a lot compared to the next 2 fragrances, but the next 2 fragrances are much louder. So I kind of ranked it more with their performance in general. But I think it's a great scent if you like a bit more subtle, subdued kind of sense, but you're looking for something fougere-like, because it smells really, really great. And maybe you get a better performance than I do with this one, because it's not always the same. We experience fragrances differently, so this might come off beast mode on you. For me, it's subdued. It's kind of like a reserved experience, and I want bold, loud. So we're going to the next fragrance. So it's Sultan Vetiver at number 9. Yeah, I actually have put this here, and I do, like I said, I do prefer the smell of number 10 a little more than this. But this one is super potent. It's a great vetiver, don't get me wrong, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a very humid, almost moldy kind of vetiver, very rooty, earthy, and I always mention it's the smell of the underground. Like, it's a bit antique smelling, if that makes sense, in a way of describing the way this smells. It's super, super damp, super almost to the point of moldy, but very grassy, very, very earthy. There's spices and woods here as well. It's almost like it's a tropical someplace, and it's been raining and raining and raining, and there's way too much warmth. It's hot, but it's cold rain, and it's made the ground super soggy, and you're digging and digging and digging in. Finally, it's getting drier and drier and drier, but you still have the earth. It's still a bit wet and muddy, and you've got that kind of a smell here. That's what I get with this one. The vetiver is a great note. I really enjoy it, but I've gotten bored of it lately. It doesn't excite me as much, but there's something a little exciting on this one. It does smell a bit musty, and also there's a bit of a rosy smell in the background as well. But nicely done. That is Nishane's Sultan Vetiver at number 9, and then at number 10, it's Suede at Saffron. So Suede at Saffron, you might be reminded of Tom Ford's fragrances like Tuscan Leather, maybe even Ombre Leather, but there is a bit of a twist on this. I feel like the saffron in this is super amplified. So there's a leather slash fabricy kind of smell to it, which is a bit different. And if you don't like those kind of barnyardy leather smells, but you want something a bit more sexy, and also, as I said, reminder of fabric and leather together in this kind of a form, you'll probably really enjoy this one. In the background, there's some slight fruitiness as well. This is where it kind of reminds you of Tuscan Leather and all those kind of leathery fragrances. But to me, it's a super awesome smelling fragrance. Really loud, big, intense, and a fragrance if you're into leather, definitely going to enjoy. It's a clean leather. It's not an animalic, as I said. It's not a barnyardy leather. It's not funky and things like that. But it's leather in the end. It doesn't necessarily smell like a flower or an herb or something. So you got to appreciate these kind of smells. But it's super sexy. It smells great. It's also super potent and intense. So this is the kind of fragrance that you would wear if you want something bold, very masculine, because this is definitely the masculine list, and the fragrances I've chosen here are quite masculine. So that is Suede at Saffron. Let me know if you're a fan of that one. That one's at number 8. Definitely super solid. I had a bit of a challenging time to put this list together because, you know, I like some of the more popular fragrances, but some of the underrated ones are also good, but they don't get spoken about too much. But I'm glad to have that featured there at number 8. All right, next up, going to the fragrance Credo, recently featured in a Woody Fragrances video of a super strong, intense, long-lasting fragrances. This one does have a little bit of a reminder of oud wood. If you like fragrances like that, you'll really appreciate this. And it's actually like a Western oud. It's not a funky animalic oud. I made sure there's no animalic fragrances in this, although I think the vetiver might come off a bit funky because it does have that very earthy, rooty, kind of almost moldy smell. But here, it's so awesome. It smells so amazing. It's a super spicy fragrance, fresh spices with an oud accord in here. And that's where it kind of reminds you a little bit of Tom Ford's oud wood. But this is so much more intense, super amplified, and really lovely. But there's also leather here, which is also something you don't get with the Tom Ford. It doesn't smell like the leather in Tuscan Leather or even in Suede at Saffron I was just talking about, but it's super spicy, very masculine, bold, but you know, very wearable kind of fragrance. And if you're looking into fragrances that are not super sweet, because a lot of men's fragrances tend to go sweet these days, this is the kind of fragrance you're going to want to wear. It's an awesome release from Nishane, Credo. I believe that's created by Jean-Louis Suizac. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that perfumer. He's at IFF, or he used to be. I think he still is there. He's an older perfumer, I believe. But next we're going to the house, not the house, we're still in the same house, Nishane. It's Fan Your Flames. So Fan Your Flames. This is the fragrance from Nishane that might be in the same kind of a direction of fragrances like Jazz Club. But if you like Jazz Club and you complain about that because it doesn't perform, it doesn't last, graduate to this one. So it's a boozy, tobacco, and also coconutty fragrance. And there's also sandalwood here. And for me, the sandalwood tricks my nose to smelling like coffee, like ground coffee, which is kind of interesting. Or maybe it's the sandalwood in addition to everything else that's in here that gives me that kind of a vibe. But again, it's boozy, it's creamy, and the coconut, I think, assists with the sandalwood's creaminess. But for me, this overall fragrance experience, even though there's a lot of coconut in this, acts kind of ground and granular like ground coffee is, if you're ever, you know, making coffee with ground coffee. So that's the texture I get with this one, even though there's that coconut in here and things like that. But if you like the idea of Jazz Club, but super more potent, intense, because I feel like, to me, it's a similar style of fragrance, because Jazz Club has also got that creaminess, even though I don't think they mentioned coconut in that one, but it does have that creaminess. But for me, that fragrance just acts muted, like nothing really stands out. It just smells like mishmash of notes. And I cannot separate the notes. I mean, yeah, it comes off boozy and it comes off tobacco, but it's kind of mixed so much that it kind of blends too much together. Here, at least, you can actually distinguish the different notes. You can separate the notes and also experience them together. I don't know if you guys ever do that with fragrances. I do that. I can separate the notes and also blend them back in when I'm smelling the fragrances. And it's really cool to be able to do that. And with Jazz Club, I can't seem to do it. It's just one kind of flat fragrance. But anyway, fan your flames. A lot of explanations. If you need to graduate from Jazz Club, definitely try Fan Your Flames. I'm not saying they're 100% identical, but a very similar idea. All right, next up, we've got a fragrance called Ege. Sorry, my bottle broke on the side, so I had to tape it up, unfortunately. I should probably get a new bottle to visually display this much better. But here's a fragrance that was a challenge for me when I first smelled it. This launched, I believe, in 2020 at the height of the pandemic. But for some strange reason, this came off so marine to me. I don't know what it was, but I really, really love this fragrance now. My nose adapted to it, got used to it, started appreciating it, all of these things. I'm obsessed with the way it smells. It does smell like a salad, and it's a Greek perfumer at Firmenich working for, a Turkish brand. So there is a connection there. And I think there's a lot of mint here. The Turks and the Greeks make this kind of a yogurt mint cucumber salad. Not that there's any yogurt in this, but the cucumber and the mint together is here. And it gives you that kind of an idea subconsciously. But it's super fresh, very aromatic, spicy, really ozonic because there's violet leaves, but it acts cucumber-like. Or maybe there might even be cucumbers as a note. But to me, I get this kind of a cucumbery effect with violet leaves because it's watery and pulpy at the same time, but it's super fresh, aquatic, not marine, thankfully, and it smells great in the heat. It's also super potent, so if you like the idea of ozonic, fresh, aromatic fragrances that have this crispness to them, definitely try Ege. Really, really enjoy that one. Yeah, it's also very masculine. I think the types of notes that are in here are masculine. It's not sweet, it's just aromatic, spicy, woody, and ozonic, as I said. A lovely fragrance. Next, at number 4, Oolong Cha. I know Oolong Cha is a really popular fragrance. It's a freshie. It's a tea. Again, these fragrances are unisex. I think they're considered men for me, as far as the video goes, but some of these might be a bit more unisex than masculine leaning. So far, everything has been very masculine leaning. Oolong Cha being a tea fragrance, I think it's a unisex offering, but the fact that it has citruses and aromatics and things like that, I think it does lean on the masculine side of the unisex. What we were looking at, the scale. That's the word I was thinking of. But Oolong Cha, oh my God, it is so good. It's super fresh, super cozy, very aromatic, very spicy, green and earthy, light creaminess under there. It's like a tea service presented to you, and you're smelling all the ingredients in this tea. And I'm a tea drinker, I love the tea fragrances as well as drinking the tea. Then this stuff acts super fresh, spicy, and perfect to wear in the heat, actually. It's a great fragrance to wear in the heat. I love it. But, sometimes I consider fresh fragrances, since this is a fresh fragrance, not having a lot of substance. But I think when you're spraying it in the heat, it does amplify and become a bit more substantial. But in the end, it's a fresh fragrance, but super cozy as well. Tea fragrances always, to me, come off super cozy. There's a very soothing experience with it, like enveloping kind of coziness. But really love that smell. And again, it's not super masculine, but I think it definitely is a perfect fragrance for the guys. Oolong Cha from the house of Nishane. And then one of my all-time favorite fragrances here. I absolutely love it. I'm putting it at 3 because it's not as beastly as the next 2. This is Ambra Calabria. And also, Ambra Calabria, one of the most original smells ever in any perfumes that I've ever experienced. I absolutely love Ambra Calabria. It's an amber fragrance that's green, fresh, and citrusy. You've got citruses here. But in the end, it dries down to an amber, but it's not the kind of amber that's super intense and heavy and resinous and, amber, got that resinous quality. So it's freshened up. There's vanilla here as well, so it is a bit sweet. I'm not saying none of these fragrances are not sweet, but there's some sweetness here. But overall, the whole entire combination is amazing. Again, one of the best fragrances ever made, I think, in the whole entire world of perfumery. This is so super good. It is just not as beastly as the next two fragrances, but if you want a super original fragrance, you got to try Umbra Calabria. Again, as I said, it's an amber. It's got the warm, spicy touches in the dry down, some vanillic touches, but it's all green up top. You've got the green bergamot. There's the galbanum note in this, and other green notes together mixed for an amazing fragrance. Super awesome. This is Umbra Calabria from the house of Nishane. If you don't know that one, please try it. I highly recommend that one. So that was at number 3. And then next we've got Hachivat at number 2. Probably most people know this fragrance when they think of Nishane. It's got a similar vibe of Aventus, I think, but they're different. Whereas with Hachivat, there's a major woody screechiness, like a metallic coldness. It's super intense with the mossy notes, the patchouli, the pineapple, of course. There's also grapefruit, so it's a bit bitter, but it's ice cold, and it's kind of like a white marble. The color of the bottle is perfect. It's got a cooling quality, and it's perfect in the heat. Now, I guess the idea might be similar to Aventus, but for me, they were so completely different. And Aventus is a bit softer, not as loud. It's a great smell. It's a very, popular fragrance, but I feel like Nishane with Hachivat has taken it to the next level, giving us something super potent and also super cold and crisp and sharp and metallic, but still keeping the idea of Aventus. And I'm not saying that they were inspired by Aventus, but it does have Aventus vibes. Yeah, it's very fresh. But I always say it's screechy because there's a sharpness about it. So it gives me that kind of a metallic effect when I'm wearing it. But on the skin, when your skin warms up, it kind of warms up as well. That metallic quality kind of goes away. At least the warmth does it with my skin. So that's Hachivat from the house of Nishane. And I'm putting at number 1, Ani. Ani is super good. And even though it's a vanilla-focused fragrance, it's balanced out by all the spices that are in here to make it more masculine. Yeah, it's a vanilla. It's a unisex. But as far as vanilla fragrances go, I feel like this is a masculine take on vanilla. So the cardamom and ginger are super strong, super strong, really in your face, and I love that about it. And I was actually kind of out of love with this one for a while. I wasn't talking about it. I pulled it out one day and I smelled it again and I'm like, damn, that's good. This is so good. There's also quite a bit of a sandalwood in this. So it's got a very creamy vibe. And I used to think it had similarities to Frederick Mahl's discontinued Dries Van Noten. But I was kind of stripping away the spices that are on top here. And it was giving me that kind of a vibe. When you strip away the spices, but you can't really strip away the spices because they're in the formula. They're in the fragrance. But if you take them away, it kind of reminds me of the idea of Dries Van Noten. So if you're looking for an alternative to that, you can think about the Ani as an alternative with the spices, of course, but such a lovely fragrance. Cecile Zarokian did an amazing job on this. So good. Ani is so good by the house of Nishane, and it deserves the number 1 spot here on this list. So that's the list for you guys. Top 10 list of Nishane fragrances for the guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on these. Would you have done a different fragrance here? I know they have Africa Oliphant, Patchouli Koza, and a ton of other, like Taro is another one. And they've got all the more expensive fragrances like Nefs, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of Nefs. Nope, I'm not. I know a lot of you guys think I'm dumb or stupid for not liking it. I just don't appreciate that fragrance. I just think it's not worth it. It smells like citronella. And I've mentioned that before. But this is a great list, I think, for the guys. If you're looking to start your, experience with Nishane fragrances and you're a man, you want more masculine offerings, this list will be great for you. But if you would add a different fragrance to the list, let me know what it is. Add a comment below. And thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please list below in the comment section. Otherwise, like the video, share it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Click that bell icon as well. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye. All right, I decided to put two more bonuses here, just in case you want to explore a few more options. There's always Nishane's Hachivat X that came out a few years ago, like 3 years ago, I think. It was 10-year anniversary of the... Was it a 10-year anniversary? No, I can't remember what the deal was. I apologize. But this is a different take on Hachivat. It's a bit more screechy and woody, and I feel like the fruits and the citruses have been toned down a bit and spices have been spiked as well. So if you are deciding between Hachivat with it, which is, it does have that pineapple-y fruitiness, this one doesn't have it as much, I think. I feel like there's a lot of fresh spices and also woods in the base to give it a bit more of a screechy effect. So I'm featuring it here just in case you want to try it. It's definitely on the masculine side. It is Hachivat after all. There's nothing wrong. I know women that wear Hachivat, the original, not anybody that wears the X, but I am suggesting it here as an option for you guys. And lastly, if you prefer something lighter, how about Colonize? It's super fresh, citrusy. It's a elevated Turkish cologne fragrance and cologne style fragrance is what I was going to say. And it's all the citruses, this aromatics and woods in here to create something very fresh and invigorating. It's a lovely fragrance. It's just something to spritz on every once in a while to get that invigorating feeling of that kind of green aromatics, green citruses and citrus floral notes together. Super lovely. You definitely, there's also some musky notes is what I should say there are in the base here, but there's a laundry clean feeling about this too. But yeah, if you're into something lighter, fresher, and more uplifting and invigorating, try Colonize. There's 3 versions of this. This is the original. There's also the saffron Colonize and there's Hesperides Colonize, but I'm recommending the original. But you can try all 3. The saffron goes into more of a, saffron leather direction, but still keeping the similar DNA and freshness of the original Colonize. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. See you guys later. Bye-bye.